Hello and welcome to today's video. What we're going to be talking about today is the formation of a cation and an anion. And so we're really going to start with group one. And if you'll remember in group one, we talked about how that they have one valence electron. And so group one, since they have one valence electron and they want to get to 8, they want an octet. In order to be full, they want to either look like the noble gas before them or the noble gas after them. So it would be easier for them to lose one valence electron than try to gain 7. And so if we look at, let's just take lithium as an example. And so if we take the lithium atom and we look at what it wants to do, again, it would like to lose an electron, okay? And so right now it has a charge of 0. We'll just put it up above there. And we said that it wants to lose 1 electron. And so then if it loses an electron, it's going to have now a 1 charge, okay? Because it lost 1 negative. It's going to become a positive. Now, this is what's happening in as it's forming and this is called a cation. Okay, this is a cation. So that would be a positive ion, would be a cation. So that's what this one is here. Okay, now one of the things though, when you look in textbooks and so forth, you're not going to see it written this way because they usually don't use a negative or a minus. And so we're going to see it actually written as just the opposite of it. If I take the lithium cation and I give it back its electron that it needs, then it will form the lithium atom. And so this is the way you're going to see it. And all cations you're going to see written the same way. And so if I go to, let's say, group 2, and in which I have, maybe I have beryllium. Beryllium has 1 valence electron, or sorry, 2 valence electrons, my bad. And so when I write it, I could go straight to this one. So I would have beryllium. It's going to lose 2. Whoops, why did I put lithium? Beryllium. And so it becomes a 2+. So in order to get back to the neutral atom, I would need to add 2 electrons to it. Okay, and we could continue on with that with group 3. We could continue on that with the transitions and so forth. And so that is the formation of a cation. So it's actually just has lost an electron. And so we would need to add an electron back to it to get back to the neutral atom. Okay, that is the formation of a cation. Now, we're going to start talking about this within reactions. And in a reaction, when it goes from the neutral atom to the cation, we actually say it loses an electron, or that is an oxidation that is taking place. Okay, and we'll write that down here in a little bit. And if so, then we'll same way here. So this is the oxidation that is taking place because it went from 0 to 2. Again, that will be called oxidation. Okay, which is the losing of electrons. Okay, now one of the things they call also is, you'll see the words written out, oil rig, we'll talk about that. Oxidation is the loss of electrons. That's what that means. Oxidation is the loss of electrons. So that would be the way to remember it if you need to know which one is oxidation and which one is reduction, that we'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so let's go on then to the formation then of the anion. So let's say we're at fluorine. We'll go to group 17. It's a good group to work with. So we're in group 17, and let's do fluorine. Okay, so again, fluorine and all of those in group 17, again, have 7 valence electrons. And so again, in order for them to fulfill the octet, they would either have to lose their 7 or they would need to gain 1 to be a noble gas formation. And so it's going to be a lot easier for them to gain an electron. So again, if I take fluorine, okay, the neutral atom, it wants to gain one electron. And when it gains that electron, it now is fluorine with a 1 minus charge. Okay? And so when we do the gaining of electrons, we call that the word reduction. Okay, a reduction. Okay, and so if you think of oil, and then they call it oil rig. So oxidation is a losing of electrons. Reduction is the gaining of electrons. Okay, oxidation and reduction. So remembering what the difference between the two is. We'll do one more of these that is a reduction. So we'll go ahead and go to group 16. Okay, and group 16 has 6 valence electrons. Okay, and so it would want to gain 2 in order to follow the octet. And so let's go, we'll just do oxygen. So oxygen would like to gain 2 electrons. Okay, and when it gains 2 electrons, then it is 2 negative. Okay, so that is the formation. And again, these here are called anions. Okay, so these are our anions. Okay, anions. So we have cations and anions. Okay, so remember those. 2 words you need to remember. Cation is forming a positive ion. Okay. So cation is positive. I always remember it as there's a T in here. Cat ion. Some others say it's cat and they purr, so positive on here. Anion, I always say because it's got an N in here, A-N on that, and so it is a negative ion. Okay, so those are the words that you need to remember, and again, a very easy way to remember how they go together is oil rig.